starting in a different section. It's the new garden bed. So had to buy a bunch of the compost, and all of those plants are actually bought. I have put some seeds in there to see if they'll grow, but those are all bought from the local store because I just wanted to cover this area, stifle the weeds and make it look a bit nicer. Now I'll go to the rest of the bins. So the front garden, sunflowers coming up there, Aquilegia, some of the viola, still doing right, or viola, Nigella, which seems to be very hardy and grows happily anywhere. I'm actually not sure which flower this is, but that's come up quite nicely recently, so that's good. There's a bit of a gap there, so I'll have to fill that at some point. That may be a weed, I'm not sure yet, so I'll let it keep growing and see if it produces any flowers. Otherwise I'll pull that out, that's not too big an issue. More Aquilegia, can't remember. Aquilegia and Nigella. There's a Hebe in there, and there's also viola. Excuse the car. There we go. Fairly sure these two are dahlias, I think from seeds that I've managed to save from last year. So I'll let those keep growing. That might, actually that's different leaves to what the other ones were, but anyway. So these are popping up. I think they might be cornflowers, but I'm not entirely sure. There's some nice sort of colours there. There's an accidental tomato here. I think that's probably going to be a cherry tomato, so I'll have to pull that out actually. So more of those along there. Go to the wide shot. I've got my orange tree that's growing from seed in there. And this is one of the new flower beds on the driveway. I originally, when these ones started coming up, the little ones, I thought there might have been some weeds, and then I remembered that I'd actually scattered seed there, so I let it keep going. Sunflowers there, and same on the other side. So the seeds scattered here are the same ones. What I also noticed is that I have some vining plants there, or sprawling plants. They're probably, it could be buttersquash. They could be, so I'll have to be careful of those. It looks like I might have some tomatoes in there as well. So going from the backside, the viburnum have lost all their flowers now, but that's all right. The apple tree that I thought might have been dead has actually got leaves on, so it's obviously just in its dormant season, or dormant time when I brought it across. Another self-saved apple tree. The roses that came with the home, as it were. Dianthus, which is, as I understand, the same as the carnation family. Aquilegia there. All of the liliums have lost their petals now. Fairly sure that's alyssum, a nice sort of pinky purpley colour, which is good. Nepeta. This is just me showing that I do know some of the plants that I've got by name, but not all of them, basically. The hollyhock has grown extremely well, but has also suffered from the wind. So it's coming up to there. That's probably at least 9 feet tall when it's standing upright. And one of the branches comes to here, but these are my dahlias that stayed in the ground from last year, and they've actually started flowering. Not super big flowers, but they're there, they're all right. Another sunflower, this one, as you can see, has fallen over from the wind, and it's just adjusted, as has this one. And I've got the nice different coloured hollyhock here, and one has actually fallen down. This is the one that has the nice big, I do quite like these, the flowers on these, because they've filled out much more. They're very lovely. Not a bad smell too, actually, I think. And then there's this one here, which is nice and tall, and you can see there that it doesn't have the same petal development in the middle, so it's just this particular one that has that lovely development. Some of my lupins, that's what they were, or are, I should say, and a bunch of those have gone to seed now, so I can probably save some of those. The original Aquilegia, and I say that because that's the first one that I had that grew, that's obviously turning to seed now, so that's all right. More alyssum, the laburnum, I think the blue-eyed, I think it's called laburnum. that's sort of dying back a lot here. The alyssum's still going quite nicely. Can't remember the name of that one. I do have the label in there somewhere. There we go. It looks like it's a Daphne odora, so hopefully they'll produce a nice scented flower, which is actually why I bought that one, if memory serves. More of the nigella, more of the alyssum. My rose that I bought that has flowered a few times and it's easing off now. Some of my no, forgotten these ones again. Not geraniums. No, I'll have to try and think about those. Gladioli, that's it. They're starting to come up, so those ones are obviously blossoming. It's got its flower spike, and some of those coming along. As I said, the liliums have lost their flowers, and that's the front. So we'll go around the back. So the veggie patch had a poppy there. It's obviously done its growing. I could harvest plenty of seeds from those, so I popped one of those open. It's just absolutely laden with seeds, so that's good. A possibly cucumber plant there. Or it could be butternut squash. I'm actually not sure, because I do tend to not remember where I plant things and what I plant, but that's okay. It's all a bit exciting and a bit of a mystery, and it's a bit of fun when the things actually grow the vegetables or fruit, because you can see, oh, that's what I've got. So here's the grapevine, and it is doing just what I wanted it to, which is growing up this bit of rebar. And eventually, I've got some more which I'll put on over there, and hopefully I can train that to go across. And more importantly, we have the first signs of fruit on there. So that would be lovely. I've got the flowering broccoli, I think that one was. Yep, actually I can see some of it there. There's kale. Actually, we might as well walk over there. There we go. Some kale, which is starting to do all right there, which is nice. Corn, which is obviously not going to do much on its own there. Many more potatoes. These, I had actually picked the potatoes out of here. These are new potatoes that have grown in between all the other ones. And I think I might even have sweet potato. I think that's what this vining one is here. At least I hope it is. So that's the leaf of it there. There's another one over there. We have had sweet potato before, and I have tried to grow them before, but probably not with a lot of attention to getting it to grow. And then as I was doing some of my gardening, I noticed these leaves in the viningness, and I thought, I think I've seen sweet potato before, and I think it looked like that. So hopefully that's what it is. It's actually growing up a bit of a tomato there, which is my son's one from his school project, which is supposed to grow up there. Another tomato there. I'm not actually sure what that one is over there, but anyway, you can see some corn and there. Got some more corn here, and recently I planted out some more corn, so got these ones which are in a more traditional sort of lined pattern, and hopefully they'll do all right. So those are all from my self-saved corn, which is I think third generation now. So I had original F1 hybrid corn, saved some of the seed from that, grew it the next year and it was a little bit patchy, and then I think this is the second year of growing from one of the corn that I saved from last year's corn, so as I said, second generation. These, I believe, are all onions that I planted way too close together and never thinned, so they've all gone. They've got their stalks on making their flowers, which I shall actually leave to continue flowering, because that could be quite nice there. I've got capsicum, or in other words, bell peppers, as those of you in the north, in the northern hemisphere say. Let's get rid of that because that's a little weed. I also have, I believe these are cucumber. That is either a weed, or that might actually be an onion or something, so I might leave that for the moment. More broccoli there. There's another grapevine over there. That one's a red grape. That one's white, although, I mean, they're green. I don't quite know what they're called. I guess they have a bit of whitishness to them. This one obviously is sprawling out and is not doing what it should, so I'll probably move that to there, and it can grow up my little trellis there and see how it does. That's my watermelon plant, so hopefully that takes and actually does well. I have tried to grow watermelon before, and I managed to get at least little ball melons, probably roughly about that big, and then they just kind of died off. But that's all right. So we'll go around this way. The the strawberries. My youngest keeps taking those and insists that I'm not allowed to have them, that they take them instead. But I get to have the raspberries, which are actually coming along okay, despite me not having originally clipped them down to just the bare points, which I should have done, but never mind. Not sweet pea, either snow pea or sugar snap pea. I can't remember which, because I've grown both. Another hollyhock there and another pea there. Over to here, and you can see you've got plenty, well, a bit hard with the lighting here, now the wind. We'll go down to the one on the branch here instead. Look, pretty sure these are peaches, although they could end up being apricots, which is what they were on the other tree last time, but I think, as you can see, the leaf type of the apricot one are a little bit different to these. So I think these ones are peaches. A nectarine tree, which is looking fairly healthy, but seems to have lost the small amount of fruit that it had on it. So they're gone. And ignore the fact that clearly I haven't weeded very well here. Really haven't weeded very well here. Now, in amongst there, get into there, we have the rhubarb, which is actually doing all right. But yes, I definitely need to get in there and weed. It's a bit hard with the trees that have grown over, so obviously I need to trim those. And we have the gooseberry bush. That's actually going red, which is funny because I don't normally let them go red. I have in the past eaten them when they're green. I'm not sure if they're supposed to go red and if that's when you're supposed to have them, but I like them when they're green because they're nice and a bit sour. The store-bought Granny Smith apple tree. That had some small apples on it to start with, but they seem to have dropped off. But that's alright, that's not too bad. The fish pond is looking quite overgrown, I guess. It's very wild looking, but that's okay, I don't mind that look actually. There's a little flower of the aquatic plant that my son chose. And the lily pads are clearly stretching out and making the most of there. There's also some sweet peas over there, and those actually are sweet peas. Another hollyhock, and I've actually got some foxgloves in the ground over there. Let's come around here, ignore the mess. Or don't, it's up to you, but I'm not doing anything about it at the moment, so there we go. And in here. So, one of the main differences here, I no longer have my gooseberry cutting, because I gave it to my brother yesterday, because he and my dad came over for our sort of post-Christmas get-together, and that was nice. Still got some capsicums, aka bell peppers, growing there. I can't remember what plant this is, but that would be from a saved seed. It could be a plum. I'd love it if it's a prox egg plum, but it might also just be an orange leaf. Actually, that seems a bit too fine to be an orange leaf, so we shall see. As my usual thing, I'll just see what happens. I've got some more corn here. As you can see, the roots there. They're well overdue. I may not end up taking those out, but we shall see. Ooh, actually, I've just noticed my kiwi is doing quite nicely. That's good. I haven't killed it. That's a success. Progress here on the avocado, which I thought... Oh, actually, I don't want that in there. Okay, get rid of that while we're here. Put that in our little water to die off. I actually didn't know this one would do anything. It's one that I found when I was putting all the soil down here. It was buried in one of my raised beds that I had in here, and it was basically just the stem up to, I think, probably there or there, and it looked very pale and such like. I thought, well, it doesn't hurt to give it a try, so I just planted it in here, and in the last maybe month or so, it has put on leaves, and it is looking quite nice now. This is my, excuse the burping, apologies for that, capsicum. Again, so, bell pepper. That's from last year, so that's still going okay. Looks like it's got little bits of fruit on there. Hopefully it'll actually produce something we can have this year, but we shall see. There's an onion in a pot, because, yeah, why not? Clearly that's not a tomato. I'd say that's... Actually, I thought that said orange. Well, this says passion fruit. It might actually be a passion fruit, so I might see how that one goes. Cherry tomato, which is from last year, that was in the raised bed. Turns out none of us particularly fuss about that now, so as much as it's sprawling all over the place here, I'll pull that out either today or tomorrow, I think, and that'll make room for some other things in here. We've got the potted viburnum, which is the kind of the safe one that was kept because we didn't have room on the other side of the front lawn to make a nice even spread of them. So I might end up taking cuttings from this one and see how we go. Hollyhock, which, given that the one outside in the front has grown to about 9 feet tall, is probably not an ideal place for that, so we'll see what happens with that. In here I've got some Virginia stock, which I'll have to plant out at some point. That might go in that gap that's in the front garden bed, we'll see. There's some kiwi seeds in there as well. I don't know if they'll work, but they do apparently take about 30 days to germinate, which is, I think, what I've found with previous ones, so that's quite probably correct. So now I'll just do a quick little squiz of the final bit of garden. Again, excuse the mess. I'm clearly not a very well organised and neat gardener, but there you go. So the pansies, as my dad called them, so the viola, Johnny Jump Up, doing quite nicely here. They've filled out that space very well. I still can't remember what this one's called, but there's some nice little purple flowers on there. Sunflower growing there, sunflower growing there, and another one that's fallen over but has sort of grown up from that spot. There's some petals of some poppies there. I expect some poppy plants growing there. That's the first time I've seen the actual buds, the petals I should say, coming out of that one. That one I believe is called African Dawn. That's a dahlia that I bought from a local little buy-sell swap grouping. That was one of the two that I got. The other one I accidentally somehow overwatered, despite the fact that the two pots were next to each other and I watered them at the same time. The other one just got a bit waterlogged and basically died off. But that's looking very nice. I'm happy with that. These are Linaria, I believe. So they've come up nicely. More Nigella in the back. A Hebe there. And we have the first flowering sunflower, which I'm very happy with. And that's got to be probably at least 8 feet. Actually, that could even be about 9 feet, because there's a bit of a bend to that, which takes us down to the sweet peas. And they are somewhat doing what I was hoping they would, which is grow up the fern stump there. So you can see much more of those if I move my hand out of the way. In the background there. Another sunflower there. Potato, because they grow everywhere. Actually, I should move that out of the way because that's my orange. I might actually pull that. There we go. That can become more green mulch for there, because that's my orange tree from Saved Seed. My other dahlia, this one I actually bought from an online seller. And the reason why I got that one, it's the gateway one. It's the Cafe Olay. If I get my shadow, actually, maybe I need the shadow to show it a bit better, but sorry about the neighbours with the noisy garage. They have come up quite nice. I thought these are actually going to be a bit small to start with as well, because you can see they do start a bit small, but they do grow to be nice and large. So another sunflower here. It might be a different variety, this one, because it's obviously... see, I was going to say it's a bit smaller, but again I remembered that's actually got a bend to it as well. Self-saved apple seed to tree. Self-saved apple seed to tree. Seed to tree, yeah, that's right. A bunch of the lettuce that were accidentally incorporated into this garden bed. And the Linaria from here, oh, there we go. They're still here, but they're sort of starting to die back a bit. And that's all there is there. But that is the garden at the end of 2023. This is the 27th. Hang on, I'll do a double check of that. No, it's the 28th of December. So we had, sorry about the finger there, we had quite a bit of rain and storms during Christmas. Fortunately, we didn't have the hail that we did the week or a few weeks beforehand, so we haven't had as much damaging sort of effects. And now the sun has obviously come out, and the garden is looking quite nice. At least I think it does. And it's my garden. As long as I'm happy with it, that's what matters. Anyway, I hope you all had a lovely festive season, whatever you celebrate. And I hope your gardening is going very well. Happy gardening. Thanks for watching.